right now, in a vault no camera has ever filmed. A product is being manufactured that makes more profit than oil, more than cocaine, more than every tech giant combined. It weighs nothing. It costs almost nothing to produce. Yet the entire planet is addicted to it. That product is debt. You think debt is something you fall into when you're irresponsible. You think governments borrow because they have to. You think banks lend money to help you buy a house. Tonight, I am going to prove every one of those beliefs is a 4,000-year-old lie. Debt is not a problem. Debt is the most profitable product ever engineered by man. It is a machine that turns your future lifetime of work into someone else's present-day fortune. And it has been refined generation after generation until it is now perfect. By the time this video ends, you will know exactly who designed it, how they keep it running, and why the system literally cannot survive without you staying in debt forever. Stay until the very last minute. The final 90 seconds will make your blood run cold. Let's begin at the beginning, where debt was born. Origins. 4,000 years ago. The first profit machine. Most people think debt started with credit cards. Wrong. It started 4,000 years ago in ancient Sumer, modern-day Iraq. Clay tablets from 2000 BC, unearthed in the 1800s, show the world's first recorded loans. A farmer borrows 10 shekels of silver from a temple priest. He promises to pay back 12 shekels after harvest. That 20% interest rate, the same as many payday loans today. But here's what they never teach you. The temples were not charities. They were the original banks. They had vaults, armed guards, accountants, and they invented compound interest. If the farmer couldn't pay, his children became debt slaves. Debt wasn't just money, it was defined control. Babylon, 1754 BC. King Hammurabi carves his famous code into stone. Half of it is about protecting creditors. Can't pay? Sell your wife.
Sell your kids, sell yourself.
Debt had already become the ultimate enforcement tool. Greece, 594 BC. Athens is on the verge of revolution because of debt. Farmers mortgaged their land. The word mortgage literally means death pledge. Solon cancels all debts in one swoop. The first recorded debt jubilee. The rich scream, the poor cheer. But the lenders simply adapt and come back stronger. Rome perfects the model. 100 BC, senators like Crassus, worth hundreds of billions in today's money, make fortunes purely from lending. Julius Caesar personally owed Crassus so much that he had to conquer Gaul just to loot enough gold to stay alive. Debt funded the empire, until the empire started funding the debt. 301 AD, Emperor Diocletian faces impossible war bills. He quietly debases the currency. Silver coins become bronze slugs washed with silver. A 99.98% debasement in 200 years. Result? Hyperinflation, bread riots, economic collapse, barbarian invasions. Rome falls buried under its own debt. Pattern 1 locked in. Debt starts as fuel for growth. It ends as a weapon of control and collapse. The rise. From temple priests to private central banks 1190 AD, Richard the Lionheart is bankrupt fighting the Crusades. He borrows from the Knights Templar, using entire islands as collateral. The Templars invent checking accounts, encrypted letters of credit, and international interest collection. By 1300, they are richer than most kings. 1307, King Philip F of France, drowning in Templar debt, arrests them all on Friday the 13th, tortures them, burns their leaders, seizes everything. Message to future monarchs. Never let lenders get stronger than the crown. But someone was taking notes. 1609, Amsterdam creates the Bank of Amsterdam, the first true central bank. It works perfectly for 170 years. Then comes the moment that changes everything forever. 1694, England is losing a war to France. The treasury is empty. A Scottish financier named William Patterson walks into Whitehall with the deal of the millennium. Give me and my private investors a chartered bank. We will lend the government $1.2 million at 8% interest. You let us print paper banknotes backed by that debt, and you will never pay back the principal. You will only pay the interest forever. The Bank of England is born, the first privately controlled central bank that issues a nation's currency. Within 100 years, Britain's national debt explodes from almost zero to the equivalent of trillions today. But Britain becomes the richest empire in history. How? Perpetual debt make perpetual war funding. 7 Years' War? Borrowed on Napoleonic Wars? Borrow more. By 1815, debt is 250% of GDP, and Britain owns a quarter of the planet. The trick? Tax the colonies to pay the interest. Roll the principal over forever. Debt had become an infinite profit machine. The breaking point, 1914 to 1971, 1914, World War I. Every major power suspends the gold standard overnight. They print whatever it takes to buy bullets. When the war ends, money supply has tripled in every country. Germany gets slapped with impossible reparations debt. They print marks to buy gold, hyperinflation, wheelbarrows of cash to buy bread. 1929, Wall Street crash. Margin debt, borrowing to buy stocks, collapses the system. 1933, FDR confiscates private gold and devalues the dollar 70%. 1944, Bretton Woods crowns the dollar world reserve, backed by gold at 35 out of Oz. It lasts 27 years. Vietnam War plus Great Society plus Medicare. Lyndon Johnson prints dollars like crazy. France demands gold for dollars. 1971, Nixon closes the gold window. The last link between money and reality is severed. Debt is now backed by nothing except promises. And promises are free. The fallout, debt becomes the product. From 1971 onward, global debt explodes from $1 trillion to $338 trillion today. That's a 338x increase, while world population only grew 2x. Here's how debt became the product. 1. Banks create money as debt. Fractional reserve. They lend $100 but only keep $10 in reserve, $90 profit out of thin air, plus interest. 2. Governments guarantee the system, too big to fail. When banks over-leverage and crash, taxpayers bail them out. 3. Central banks buy the debt with freshly printed money. QE, $30+ trillion printed since 2008. 4. Interest payments become a permanent revenue stream. U.S. will pay $1.2 trillion in interest alone in 2025, more than the defense budget. Debt is now sold, packaged, securitized, and traded like any commodity. Mortgages, MBS student loans, slabs, car loans, auto ABS, even future royalty payments from David Bowie songs were turned into Bowie bonds. Debt is the only product where the manufacturer, banks, has zero downside, infinite upside, and the customer, you, pays forever. Failed fixes and modern parallels. 2025 edition, Greece, 2010-2018. Austerity to pay debt. Economy shrank 25%. Suicides, plus 35%. Japan, 263% debt to GDP, zero growth for 30 years. 2020-2024, 40 trillion new global debt in 4 years. CBDCs, 110-plus countries testing programmable debt money that can expire or be switched off. Shocking. 2025 numbers. Global debt, $338 trillion to 35% of world GDP. U.S. national debt, $38 trillion and rising $1 trillion every 100 days. U.S. household debt, $18.6 trillion. Student debt, $1.75 trillion. 43 million Americans. Corporate debt, highest since W. Torres. Bottom 50% own 2.5% of wealth. Top 1% own 35%. The pattern repeats exactly like Rome, Spain, France, Weimar, borrow, inflate, debase, collapse, reset. 3 final takeaways. 1. Debt is not money borrowed. Debt is money created. and the interest is pure profit for the creator. 2, the system is designed to require constant exponential debt growth. Stop the growth, and the entire pyramid collapses. Every major monetary reset in history followed unsustainable debt. We are not heading toward a collapse. We are already inside the slow-motion collapse. Final warning. When the music finally stops, they will not ask for bail-ins. They will take your bank accounts, your pensions, your freedom, and call it financial stability. The only question left is, when the debt bubble bursts, will you be holding their infinitely printable promises, or something they cannot create with a keyboard? If this video just showed you the matrix you've been living in, do 3 things right now. 1. Smash the like button. It forces the algorithm to spread truth. 2. Subscribe to Cash Historian and hit the bell. I drop these forbidden documentaries every month. 3. Comment the one asset you're moving into before 2030. I read every single one. Thank you for staying until the end. The clock is ticking louder than ever. Start protecting your wealth today, because tomorrow they will make it illegal. Cash Historian out.